Earlier this year, I generated over $73,000 in a single day on Shopify. And to show you proof, here's actually the store, and you can see when the sales spike started and how we actually ended up increasing overall sales over 390% while increasing conversions by 70% and driving overall traffic up 102%. So in today's video, what I'm going to do is pull back the curtain on our simple 4-step process that we use to scale brands the upwards of $73,000 in a single day, and even some brands the upwards of $223,000 in a single day, like we did for this client right here. And if you stick all the way to the end, I'm actually going to walk you through our surf scaling method that we use to hit these kinds of numbers in a single day. What's going on, everyone? It's Spencer here. And if you're new to the channel, I run a growth focused agency by the name of Easy Media, where we help accelerate the growth of brands with purpose. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, we're going to be diving into our exact sales process and what we do from the offer to the website optimizations and then the actual scaling strategy to achieve these massive milestones for clients when it comes to sales in a single day, with the goal that you can learn from it and apply it to your store as well. So to kick things off, if you're going to have a milestone day on your store and have a massive sales rush coming through, you're most likely going to need to have an offer. Now, don't get me wrong, we've had some clients that have had massive days without actually introducing some kind of an offer, but 99 times out of 100, you're going to need to have some kind of strong offer in place to achieve this volume of sales in a single day. Now, as you can see on screen, I'm going through our offer mastery doc that we actually give to all of our students in our Evolve consulting program, which again, if you're interested and you want to learn more about Evolve, you can click the link in the description below. With that said, there are quite a few different offers in here, but the one that I want to focus on, or the two that I want to focus on, I should say, are going to be the flat dollar amount off or the flat percentage amount off. Now, out of all the different types of sales that you can run, we have honestly found that either a percentage off or a dollar amount off is by far the most effective way to actually generate a mass amount of sales. We've tried a lot of the buy one get ones, and we've tried a lot of these conditional style sales, but at the end of the day, if you just do a site-wide percentage off for people, not only does everybody understand that because it's simple and obvious, but everybody also is going to get a discount. A lot of the times when you do these conditional things, only certain types of people that buy specific items actually get the discount. I think the one that absolutely works the best is when you're able to say save up to a dollar amount or save up to a percentage off, because when you're doing that, especially if you have multiple products, it allows you to have a variety of discounts, but most importantly, you're actually able to call out what feels like a massive sale, even if not everything on the store is actually 80% off, or not everything is $80 off in this instance. So whenever you're able to say save up to a dollar amount, we highly recommend doing it. With that said, don't just have some random product that nobody buys at $80 off and then everything else is only $10 off, because obviously that's not going to be great for people if they see save up to $80 and then the one that everybody actually wants is only $10 off. I know a lot of brands sometimes do that, but we've just found it doesn't make sense. So as long as your scale is actually accurate and you're giving a good discount on products that people actually want to buy from you, that is the most important thing. I understand obviously if it's a brand new collection or a brand new product, it might not be on sale, but at the end of the day, I highly recommend doing some kind of save up to dollar amount off or save up to some percentage amount off. Now, once you have the offer, the next most important thing to do is you need to call it out everywhere on your website. And this is something that I see so many people fail to do. All most people do is they just update their announcement bar and that's it. But I'm honestly going to tell you, if you just take maybe a couple of hours, or you just hire someone on Fiverr or just anywhere to get some kind of custom graphic and actually take the time to update your most popular homepage or your landing page, or even if you're on your product page, just slap something on there, which I will actually show you in a second. Calling it out visually on your website is the lowest hanging fruit for so many of you that don't run sales. And I see a lot of people, they run sales all the time, but they don't actually have anything applied to it. There's no name to the sale. There's no purpose. It's just save 55% off because that's the offer. And so it's just not as authentic, and there's not really as much urgency there when there's no specific timer to it. So for example, we just had a lot of clients that were running July 4th sales. So having the website branded for 4th of July and having good imagery on there and maybe doing some fireworks and all that kind of stuff makes it actually feel more realistic and like there's a reason for why you're having the sale rather than just trying to sell tons of your product. Now, when it comes to the actual design side of things itself, always make sure that your mobile is optimized. But on top of that, and as you can see, our team did a solid job here, make sure that the savings is the biggest thing that you're calling out first. Okay, so save up to 55% off is the biggest thing, and it's the first thing that my eyes go to. I want to call out the deal, especially if it's a great deal. Where sometimes I see a lot of people, they have their their actual title or their USP that is the big and bold, headline, and then they have the sale secondary. Whereas honestly, we've tested it. Having the big sale numbers up in front grabs people's attention, and then it hooks them in to read a little bit more, and then that encourages them to go and shop, and they can clearly see the offer and they can clearly see the deal. And as you can see, we also have this big up to 55% off on our graphic to just echo that even further and make it so obvious that there is a massive sale happening. Now, the next thing on here, if you want to do up your collection pages, I think doing some kind of a specific collection page can actually provide value, and we have done it for clients. But the most important thing, and the second most important thing here, we always recommend using an automatic discount code and applying custom code on your product pages to show the actual discount. But in scenarios where you can't have an automatic discount code running, which for this client we can't because we have a specific bundle app that is also running, just calling out the code and then actually using a special link, which if you want the link to this document below, I've shared this on the channel, but I will attach it below as well. You can see that you can actually grab a custom link here that by just entering your URL and entering your discount code, you can actually put this into your ads, or for example, you can actually put this into your links across your website, and it will actually apply that coupon code to the user without them actually having to apply it themselves in checkout. And now the reason why that is so important to do is because, as you can see, once I get into the cart page, we've actually optimized the cart as well to tell people how much they are saving. This is another thing that, depending on your theme's native ability, you might have this or you might not, but having a developer help you code this in so that way you can show people how much they're actually saving on their order. When it comes to sales, this is by far my number one recommendation for brands to incorporate into their cart, because one of the best feelings about shopping as a customer whenever there's a sale is seeing how much that you actually save. You've probably done it before where you've gone shopping, come home and you feel guilty, and someone in your family looks at you, it's like, how much money did you spend? And of course you tell them, but then you explain how much you saved, and you're basically justifying the amount of money that you spend that you probably shouldn't have spent. Now, obviously, is every single person like that? Of course not. But at the end of the day, if you're showing people how much they're saving, especially for example, if I start adding multiple products here, this person, if I was shopping for this and had these 3 products in my cart, this person is saving almost $100 on their actual order, which for some people is going to feel amazing. They're like, well, hey, you know what? I really like the product. Do I need it? I don't know, but hey, I'm saving $93. This is a great deal. I might as well just get it while I can. And for those of you that have ever wondered why offers are so effective, that thought process right there is what happens to millions and millions of consumers every single day whenever they land on pages that have some kind of offer in place. So again, by optimizing your cart to actually show the amount that someone is saving before they get to checkout is incredibly powerful to do. And you'll notice, for example, on this page, we're also calling out how much they're saving here as well. So whether you want to do the percentage here or the dollar amount, obviously in this instance, saving $50 is pretty huge. So we've called that out on the product page, and then ideally this will carry all the way through to the actual cart and of course the checkout. So that is it. That is the entire process from choosing the right offer. Again, we recommend to save up to a dollar amount or percentage off. The bigger, the better. We then recommend optimizing your homepage or your highest traffic landing pages where anybody is going to. Make sure that you have this branded and optimized for your specific sale. From there, make sure your product pages are also optimized with the discount and showing people how much they're saving so it's clear that it's applied. And again, if you are not doing an automatic discount code or you're not doing some kind of manual markdown or using custom code to show this, then again, make sure you actually call it out on the product page so it's obvious, and use this sheet to automatically apply any kind of manual codes to your URL so that way it actually automatically applies them for the user. And then finally, make sure you optimize your cart to show people how much they're saving, because everybody loves a good deal. Now, as promised, if you made it all the way to the end, or maybe you just skipped all the way to the end, I'm going to be walking you through our surf scaling strategy that we use leveraging Triple Whale. Now, if you've never heard of Triple Whale before and you're like, what is this? There's a link down below underneath my tech stack, and you can go and save 15% off with our code. Triple Whale is basically a tool that helps you analyze your data better and brings everything into one place. And one of the best things about Triple Whale is it actually gives you real-time data on how things are scaling in your ad account. Now, when it comes to our surf scaling strategy, what I want to do is basically just explain what surf scaling is. So surf scaling is basically when you're scaling budgets very aggressively throughout the day. Sometimes you're doubling budgets or tripling budgets, and we've had times where we started the day at $5,000 a day in spend and finished at a daily budget of $100,000 per day. Now, did we actually spend the full $100,000? No, but essentially what we're doing is we're telling Facebook to really really push the gas. So here's a great example of us actually surf scaling this client and what it would kind of look like. So in this scenario, as you can see, at around 5 a.m., we checked and we saw that we had spent $200 and got $1,800 back. So in this scenario, we're like, we need to crank budget very hard. And so what did we do? We doubled our budget and we checked it 2 hours later. Now, 2 hours later, we saw that we had spent $700 with $800 in return. And so that really didn't make sense. So in this instance, we just left budget as is, but 2 hours later, things kind of stabled out a little bit. And as you can see, our performance jumped back up and we were closer to a 4x return on ad spend. Again, 2 hours later, we checked it and our performance was looking pretty solid. So we decided to just kind of, again, maintain, because for example, at 10 a.m. here, we actually had a negative time period. And that's the whole reason why we're using triple whale here, is we can see kind of hour over hour how performance is. And as you can see, by the end of the day, when we had really good performance here over this period, we started cranking budgets a lot harder. We went from spending around $500 to $600 per hour to the end of the day, we were essentially spending $1,600 per hour. And sure enough, that panned out for us because we were able to scale a lot further. And so this is what surf scaling will essentially look like. Your day is starting out very slow. And don't get me wrong, when it's very early in the morning, Facebook's typically not going to push as much budget because it's early in the morning. Same thing when it's really late at night. But at the end of the day, surf scaling, what it allows you to do is really spend a lot while it's very hot on the store. So this is great for days like Black Friday, or for example, for one of our clients right now that's actually close to hitting $100,000 per day, we have been surf scaling every few hours to try to get the most out of those specific sale periods. Now, if you want more information on our surf scaling strategies, I would highly recommend checking our Evolve consultation program out down below. Or if you want your team to be looking at your ad account every 2 hours and scaling during these big sales periods, then there's also a link down below for you to apply to work with our agency and get a custom growth plan from us. So that said, hopefully you have a better understanding of what it looks like to pick the right offer, how to actually get it onto your site, what you need to optimize and what you need to focus on, and then most importantly, if you stick the way to the end, how to scale it like crazy. So that said, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this week's video, and I'll see you in the next one.